Okay, all right, we're live. Hello everyone, how you doing? How's everyone this evening, this wonderful Sunday evening? I want to welcome you if you're in the house already. I already see 6 people. Say hello. Let me know that you're in the house. Today we're going to be shifting gears just a little bit. I'm actually going to be picking up from where we left off yesterday. You'll see the similar numbers. So if you did not watch yesterday's live stream, that's okay. I would encourage you to definitely go back and kind of see what we did there regarding the numbers that are on the board here. And for today's class, we're actually going to create a strategy where we're doing velocity banking, infinite banking to 10x our income rather than velocity banking and infinite banking to just become debt free. So in order for us to actually 10x, we would actually put paying off debt on hold. Okay, so I'm sure there's a lot of you that question, should I take all this time, say 5 to 7 years, to get completely out of debt? Or should I pay off certain debts that are really beating me up, trying to get my cash flow up? And maybe when I'm down to the mortgage or I'm down to like student loans or like the big loans that you have that we know are going to take more than 2, 3, 4 years just doing the concept alone, then we could potentially put it on hold and take that same time, 3 to 4 years, to 10x your income and then pay off that debt in like 6 months, a year, like in one shot, one lump sum, because you would be making 10 times what you're making right now. So that would 10x your cash flow. You'd have way more capital to work with on a monthly basis. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Just some announcements that I have is anyone that is a client of mine since 2018 and 2019, meaning if you purchased my Velocity Banking bundle, if you purchased the Velocity Banking Masterclass, if you're part of my Lifetime program, or you just purchased the Velocity Banking Manifesto, I want to let you know that the platform that I was saying that I'm switching over to is now complete. Everyone should have access. If you do not have access, if you're a client watching, whether right now on the replay, and for some reason you don't think you have access, please send me an email so that I can give you access to the new platform called Kajabi. It has an app, it has my full course on there, it has all the classes that I did in 2019. Everything is uploaded. Most of them are edited, so it'll be broken down into different like titles and tags and descriptions, but you will see like 20 classes that are just raw footage, and then you'll see a section for the edited stuff. And then if you're just a Manifesto member, I have a ton of new content plus what you've already been watching, so it'll just be the same stuff. It's just way more organized. It's a lot cleaner. Trust me, you'll love it. And in addition to all that, I also have the community that is also live as well. And right now, I'm live on YouTube, but I'm also live on that platform. So I'm like testing things out. So there might be some people that are watching on Kajabi. So if you make a comment in Kajabi, I'll see that, as well as on YouTube, where pretty much everyone is right now. So I just wanted to share those things with you so that you are up to date. Remember, if you are a client, if you paid me any type of money for any course in 2019, be sure to reach out to me if you do not have access to anything yet, okay? So we're gonna go over a strategy that I personally use in my business to create a massive amount of content in a short period of time without burning out and being happy in the process. Literally, enjoying the process, not feeling like I have a second job or that I have to do these things. It is a strategy that I've put in my own life to actually create, spontaneous thoughts and passion and love and happiness in the process of the work that I do to create value in the marketplace. So that strategy, I call it the 90-90-90 rule, okay? 90-90-90 rule, which is 90 days to prepare the 4 major questions in life that you must answer. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? Where am I going? 90 days to figure that out. 90 days to logically create a plan that answers those questions, meaning starting a business so that we can 10x, right? So getting the proper tools, the equipment, everything that we could possibly need or think we need, we're going to get in those 90 days. And then we're going to establish different things in those 90 days as well so that we can best be prepared. And then the next 90 days is to actually create the value that your business is set out to do. So that would be creating content, whether it's video, audio, or written, one of the 3. And then the final 90 days is to actually execute what you prepped for and what you created. So executing meaning you have everything established. You got your business, you got your name, you got your brand, you have your accounts, you have your business checking account, you have everything set up, and you've created the content. Now it just needs to get posted live for the world to see. And so you're going to create a schedule where you're going to consistently post every single day for 90 days. So technically, we'll have 180 days to prep and create all that content, and then 90 days of execution consistently. And then what happens is you wash and repeat. What will happen is you can eliminate the first 90 days to prepare once you're in this 90 days right here of execution. So once you're 180 days out, right, and you're ready to execute your business publicly and create the value and post publicly, comment, get likes, get views, all that stuff. During those 90 days, since you prepared and created everything and created the schedule to post everything, guess what? There's no work to be done. It's on automatic. Every single day will automatically post things each and every day. You won't have to do any work whatsoever. Simply watch your own content is one thing you can do. Comment on your own content and reply to comments, views, likes, mentions, shout outs, things like that. So during those 90 days of execution, you will be creating another, 90 days. You'll have 90 days to create more content in the 90 days that you're posting stuff. So the posting's on automatic. Now you're taking the time to create more content for the next 90 days. And then when you approach the end of that first execution of 90 days, guess what? You have the content to keep it going on a nice cycle. And it becomes the most simplest way for me, and I think it'll work for you to produce a massive amount of content where people will question, how do you do it? How do you have, kids and a wife, a husband, and a home, and bills, and work, and now you got the business, and how are you able to do all this? Everything requires a process. Once you get the process and you've mastered the process, then what happens is it doesn't take you 90 days anymore to create, prepare, and execute. It'll drop down to maybe 45 days or half the time or a third of the time. And you just get better and better and better and better and better at it. Okay? So let me just give some shout outs here. See who's in the house. Hello to Eli, good afternoon. Joel, how are you? John, how's it going? Loretta, Ronald, Saeed, yes, hello. Superhuman says, what it do? Denzel, what it do? Sharona says, hi everyone. Jojo, Jasper, hello. Jeff Harrison, Billy Flowers, Dividend Portfolio, how you doing? And Mr. Ramos, which is I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Ramos here in the house in person. Drove all the way from Orlando to meet a guy like me, so I thought that was pretty awesome. I got fed, had some wine, had some laughs, some giggles, and closed out the day. It was a blessing, right? And obviously he made it home safely, so God bless, right? And hello to Martin. Martin says, keep up the good work. Sure will. And hello to Pamela. All right. Now let's go into the meat and potatoes. I gave you the overview. Now let's go into the stuff, all right? So let's say, for example, you are making $3,500 a month. Your expenses are $2,500. This is including everything: saving, tithing, giving, investing, whatever it is. Those are your expenses. You have a $250,000 mortgage, right? And your cash flow is $1,000. So from the other class, we had originally $270,000 of debt. We wiped out a car in like a year, did velocity banking, cash flow went up to $1,000. We have a personal line of credit unsecured for $15,000, 10%. A credit card for $15,000. I just wrote another number, 21%. And so we've been doing velocity banking for a year, and now we're questioning, okay, should I take the next 4 to 7 years, or 5 to 7 years to pay off that $250,000 mortgage with this income, expense, and cash flow with these credit lines, which I can surely do, right? Very simple, right? Keep the plan going. Or do I want to go ahead and 10x at the same time I can pay off debt and actually go much faster than 4 to 7 years? I could probably be done in like 2 or 3. Some other options, just in general, so you know, for people that want to do this. In terms of debt tools, we have HELOCs, credit cards, secured credit lines, HELOC in the first and second position, policy for the infinite banking concept, right? High cash value, assets, 401k, IRA, whatever you got, capital, we could use to 10x your life, 10x your income, 10x your business, okay? Now, with all the information that I know now, if I had to restart from the beginning, 2018 August, with all the information that I know right now, here is what I would do to establish myself, create a foothold, build my foundation so I can 10x my income even faster. Me personally, I was able to 10x in about 9 to 10 months, not even knowing what to do. So I can only imagine that you and I, with the information that we're sharing together here today, if you were to actually execute, you could probably do it in faster, faster than 9 months, 10 months. You're probably going, 6, 4, whatever it is. We're not going to count this time in your 10x time frame, right? It'll count once you're public, once you're official, right? Once you're out there, then you count how many days, how long did it take me to 10x. When you're in prep mode, you don't count those. That's you preparing. Now, you want to be careful. There's a reason why I say 90 days. I don't say 6 months, 1 year, because that leads to procrastination. And we do not want to procrastinate. We want to be very firm and disciplined, just like you are with velocity banking and infinite banking. We're taking those same disciplines and applying it to 10x your income. All right? So the very first thing that I would do, okay, if I was you, and I'm going to pretend I'm you and you're me in this position right here, okay? And you're just starting out, okay, and you're like, all right, I want to have what he has, or I want to be like Tony Robbins, or I want to be like Dean Graciosi, Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone. I want to be like these major players in my own industry. Okay, so you have the desire. You need that. You got to have the mindset. These are the stuff that I'm not going to really get into. The mindset, the desire, the purpose, right? You kind of have to have that instinctively. If you don't, this might upset you because you may not be able to live up to that standard of 10x. You got to have it within. It has to come from within. Nobody can really teach you. It just has to come from within. And if you are gifted enough, then there's a chance. Even when you are super gifted, there's still a rare chance that you'll make it. Okay? So you have to know that going in. You have to know that 99%, 99.9% of people will fail. You have to know that going into this, or you will disappoint yourself. You will expect something, but not get what you want. Okay? So you have to expect to fail so that you can succeed. You have to expect to fall down, break a bone, get bloody, cry, yell. You have to expect pain, suffering, obstacles, challenges, the worst of the worst. When you expect that, now you are positioning yourself to really hold what, I forgot the scripture, but God tells us to, pick up his shield and his sword and wear the helmet to protect your mind and your soul and your spirit and things, so he will guide you. And when you surrender your will for his will, he then puts his will on you, and now you really can't fail. Okay, so if you have God backing you up on your desires, your wants, your purpose in life, you really can't go wrong, right? So when you make it about something else other than you, that's an even more authentic way for you to really, really produce something that would last forever, such as a kingdom, okay? So with that being said, let's go into it. First thing you need to do, establish a business. Very first thing. Where? Well, for me, I found that the most affordable thing so far, and maybe there's something else out there, but Legal Shield for Business. There is a link in the description below on this video and every one of my videos. Legal Shield does personal and business protection, establishment, maintenance, things like that. Very, very affordable. When I established my first LLC, it cost me, I think, $1,100, almost $1,200. With Legal Shield, it's $149 plus state and filing fees. So maybe $500 at the end of the day. Here in Florida, it might be lower because it's not that much for state and filing fees. I think it's like $250 or something like that. And if you're in California, I'm assuming it's going to be triple because everything's more expensive over there. So it just depends on what state you're in, but it's $149 everywhere plus state and filing fees. And they really do something unique. I've seen it with my own eyes with a friend that had his, I'm like, damn, man, you paid much less than what I did and it looked like you got more. I love seeing that. So that would be one of the first things that I do. The money that you use to fund and initially start your business is going to be based off what you have, right? Your income, your spends, debt, cash flow, right? Whatever. You could use your line of credit, your credit card, to initially pay for things. Be sure to track everything because you can eventually translate all that into business expenses as a reimbursement to yourself. However, your CPA will eventually, set that up for you. So we want to establish the business. Before we establish the business, we want to think of a name. Think of a brand name. It could be your first and last name. But if you are in an industry like health, fitness, finance, you can use your name. That's the easiest thing to do, your first and last name.com, first and last name @gmail, right? First and last name, like everything on all your accounts. Just you want to be very, very clean and consistent. But if you have a thought, in your mind of a name outside of your very own that you were born with, such as a brand name, think about it, ponder on it, pray, and then see if it can be trademarked, see if it's already trademarked, because if it's trademarked already, then you can't use it, right? So for example, my name is Denzel Napoleon Rodriguez. That's how I started out, and then I became the finance geek. So that is trademarked. I own it, no one can use it. Whoever uses it, I can say, hey, you gotta cease and desist, my friend, right? But in the beginning, it's probably easiest to just use your first name and last name. But if you do have a name, like I said, go ahead, use it. Think of a brand name, see if it can be trademarked. That'll help you for long term, okay? You want to buy equipment for content creation. I would say to start small, work your way up. You don't have to spend $5,000 on a camera or, buy a $1,000 microphone. You really don't. I would encourage you to watch some of my very first videos and compare it to this video right now. You will be alarmed. You'd be like, I can't hear him. I can barely see him. I can't see the board. The light's terrible. But it has the most views out of my whole channel, which is insane, right? So with that being said, that is physical proof, tangible proof that you do not need it all to start, okay? You want to start small, work your way up. Be practical. Focus everything on what you have, what you're willing to spend on, okay? So with that being said, you want to definitely, I'm going to skip over this one real quick. You want to create a budget and a time schedule based on your chunk for velocity banking, that's 66% of your line of credit, if you're going to use debt to fund your business, or whatever initial capital you have to work with, such as the $1,000 a month in cash flow. You could say, you could wait 6 months and accumulate the cash flow, but since we're velocity banking people and we're infinite banking people, we like to leverage. We like to use debt. It saves time, right? So that's why I'm saying, okay, create your budget and time schedule based on your chunk and whatever initial capital you have with. So in this particular situation, anywhere from 10 to 12K is going to be my funding budget, meaning 10 to 12,000 is going to be used to establish the business. I'm going to use Legal Shield to create the business and then get business protection. They have plans, they have personal and business plans to protect you legally and with identity, especially if you're creating content. You are going to have so many passwords and so many social media accounts and so many things that it is wise to get something like Legal Shield. There are other options out there. I personally have a Legal Shield plan. I love it. Never had an issue. Everything is, secure and organized in one place. So that really, really helps. Let's see. So once you've got the business, got the name, okay, you get the equipment, you've created a budget and a schedule. In this particular situation, 10 to 12,000. Now what we're going to do is you're going to pick your favorite platform to create the content that you want to be on. So let me give you some thoughts. Here are the platforms to be on right now, okay? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, podcasts. I would say personally, out of these, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and podcasts are like the best platforms for education, information, breakdowns, how-tos, do-it-yourself, right? Type of content. If you want to be sexy, if you want to be attractive, if you want to bring in a lot of attention in a short period of time, and your product or service is like sexy, right? It's either showing your body, it's clothes, it's fitness, wellness, health. It's the attractive stuff. You're going to want to be on Instagram for sure, Snapchat, and TikTok. it's quick stuff. It's like, it's like a lot, okay? And so that's where you want to be. But if you are in education and your education is also a little bit of entertainment, kind of like what I'm doing, you want to be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, podcasts. TikTok is pretty huge right now in terms of engagement. I understand that. But in terms of education and like the best suitable user-friendly platform, someone that's going to sit there and just watch you for a long period of time, you're going to want to be on like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, because they have IGTV. LinkedIn is also good. Podcast is one of the best in terms of engagement, and I would say like attention. Like the average listener on podcasts, I think I heard something, I think it was like 18 minutes or 10 to 18 minutes. That's a long time for someone to just sit there and listen to you talk for 10 minutes. That's super long in the world of internet, right? You could have a conversation in person with someone for 30 minutes, but when you're like looking through information, you'd be surprised how long you'll watch a video that's educational. You'd be like, you like the first minute you're gone. If it's not like, if they didn't capture you in the first 30 seconds, you're out, right? So when you're on the other side, when you're the creator of the content, you got to be thinking that way. Am I interesting? Am I boring? Am I attractive, right? Based on these things, you'll find your favorite platform. So if you are someone that is a spontaneous, outgoing person, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, might be your thing. If you're low key, introvert, podcast might be your thing. If you have an amazing voice, an attractive voice, you don't have to be physically attractive, but if you are attractive on the voice, podcast is where you want to be. So, all in all, pick your favorite platform. One, okay? Here's my strategy. Others will say other things. I'm not a content expert or content creator, but what I am is a success story. So I can use that to then give to you and say, here, I did this. It could work for you. It may not. So we'll see where we go from there. So let's say you picked your favorite platform. Let's just use me as an example. My favorite platform is YouTube. Okay. So for 90 days, I'm preparing. I picked my platform. I've established a business, got some protection, got my name. My name is going to be used for everything. It's going to be the name of all of my social media accounts, all of my email, my website, my business name. Everything's going to be uniform, okay? I've created a budget and a time schedule. I'm starting small in terms of my equipment. All I need is a phone, a simple mic, Rode, $70, $80, right? The camera, okay? The camera could be the phone, so that's the video, the audio, and you just plug it up and you're good. You get a nice little extension, right? Or maybe you do something wireless, right? So I have a wireless mic that I attach right to my pants right here, so you can't see what's below. And then I have like a nice little mic right here. It's low-key hidden, but you can still see it, right? Nothing crazy, simple stuff. It took me one whole year before I actually spent $5,000 to $7,000 on good equipment. So what you're looking at me through is a Canon M50, EOS M50 Canon with like a $600 lens attached to it. I'm using lighting from this office. This office is like, the rent is $650 a month. So I get lighting from here, but when you see other videos that I've done, you'll see some real like production type lighting. The lighting alone, that was like $1,000. I have two Canons, and then this microphone, the freaking Rode mic, that was like $300 itself. I also bought this freaking thing right here for podcasts. See this thing? This thing's no joke, right? It's like $500. I think, 300. I don't even know. You get to a point where you don't even look at the price once you've 10x. And that is a great thing. You don't even look at pricing. You're like, huh, I need it, get it, got it, nice. Okay. So let's say we've picked our favorite platform. You've established your business. You got your information, your titles, your tags, so far, you're almost done in your prep stage in your 90 days. The other thing you're gonna wanna do is you wanna get on platforms to receive the money. You need to be able to receive your 10x when you're doing business online. You have an online e-commerce business. You're gonna be receiving money online if you're creating content. So what I did over the course of the first 9 months, 10 months of my business is I made a PayPal account, it's free. I made a Stripe account, it's free. Website, somewhat free. There are free platforms, Squarespace, Wix, like they have a free version, then there's paid. Obviously paid, you get more than free, but hey, you can start things off small, like I said, according to your budget. With 10 to 12,000 to work with, I don't mind spending a few dollars to get a website made. You can use GoFundMe. Patreon is another one. I didn't write it on here. The reason why I did not write Patreon is I'm starting to see that it's quite expensive to be on their platform. I have a membership, like I'm basically grandfathered from their previous pricing. So when I started Patreon, it was cheaper. But if you were to open a Patreon account now, it costs more. And it's like really stupid. It's like, I'm like, damn, like that's a lot that they're taking off the top. And I looked for myself, like I made over $100,000 on Patreon, but what I took home, I want to say they took about 20% in fees, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. If I would have had everything going through a website, because that's basically what Patreon is. It's like you get this nice, clean looking website to collect money pretty quickly. So maybe you use it for a temporary period of time, but maybe not forever, okay? So PayPal is great when you create your invoices, when you've created your service and your product that you're gonna provide. PayPal charges, I think, 3% or less for credit card transactions, things like that. Stripe is the same thing, although I think it's a little bit less. Website, the website is where people land when they see your content and they click on the description below, right? So if you were to click on any of my descriptions that are my products and services, it's gonna take you to a landing page. Boom, my website. And then from there, you're able to make a purchase. Stripe authorizes the purchase, or PayPal will authorize it as a legitimate purchase, okay? GoFundMe is just a great way to say, hey, I'm starting this business. These are my 4 major questions. Here's why I'm doing this. Who am I? What's my purpose in life? Where am I going? Right? Those. And you're basically sharing your story and saying, hey, if you find value in what I do, can you please help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Right? And that really does make a difference. When you ask for help, you shall receive. It works, okay? It just takes some time. The thing that I would totally do is I would open a Google AdSense account and a Google My Business account. Anything Google, make it. Make a Google business email, a Google My Business account, and a Google AdSense. These are going to be like critical when you start using SEO down the road and you start paying for traffic, right? So that, coming back to this right here, is when you're gonna create your content, you can start organically and work your way to paid, or you do paid plus organic, either or. If you wanna have a minimal budget, I prefer organic. It's just you creating content and you posting on these free platforms. They don't cost anything to be on them, right? When you put money into it, then you get your marketing costs. But the Google Business, the Google AdSense, it does not cost money, and they're linked to some of these platforms so that when you start monetizing your content, you're already set up to receive the funds. So for my first year of doing YouTube, technically we could say a year and 6 months, because from August 2018 till now, so you say a year and 6 months, year and 7 months, YouTube alone, I'm at $6,000. So that's $6,000 of no work, right? Or work I did one time, and then I get little, you'll see if you do not have a YouTube premium account, you will get an ad. It'll pop up, bum, at the beginning, towards the end, somewhere in the middle, however it works. The more of those I put on my videos, then they send me money for free. And then over time, you might get sponsored by a big corporation, a company that sees what type of content you're putting out. So if you're putting out fitness content, what would be a great sponsorship to have? Something in fitness, clothing, gloves. And it's like you're basically working out with the gloves on, and you get sponsored to do that. And it's like, wow, it doesn't cost you anything. So in the first 90 days, these are the platforms we need to create accounts on. We're going to pick our favorite one. Here are the platforms I need to create to receive the money. You could use other ones. I'm giving you the ones that I used. I used Squarespace as my website to start out. Now I have ClickFunnels, Kajabi, much more expensive stuff. Legal Shield for establishing the business and then protecting it, your name, your accounts and all that. The name, getting the equipment, right? You got your time and your schedule. The next thing I would do is set up affiliate accounts or build a team. You could do both, one or the other, however you see fit. When I first started out, I used affiliates, meaning like if there was a product or service that I needed in my own business, I was reaching out to that person to say, hey, I'm a content creator. I'd love to team up with you. Can I put your link on my videos and you pay me a referral fee per lead type of deal? And for doing that, if I bring you X amount of leads per month, you'll provide me your service for free. That's a great way to save money, and that's negotiation skills. That's a win-win. So instead of me just paying you money, I'm saying, hey, I can give you more than money. Leads, attention, views, likes, right? I can build you while I build me, especially if it's in line with what I do. So for example, Legal Shield is in line with a lot of the things that I teach. So I became an affiliate. I now refer Legal Shield's product on my videos every now and then. Not too often, but every now and then. And every now and then, a lead, right? Same thing with IBC Global. IBC Global, I found the infinite banking concept. I said, wow. I said, hey, I'm a content creator. Love to partner with you. Could you write all the policies that I send your way and you pay me a commission for doing nothing but sending you a lead? So basically, people like you will click on the link below. They're like, oh my God, Denzel's really talking about this infinite banking. This sounds great. Let me verify. Let me do my research. Let me learn. And then you get to the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm there. And then you click on the link and it'll say, who were you referred by? Denzel, boom. Now that IBC, they create a policy just for you. You're in love, they're in love, I'm in love, win, 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 right? So setting up affiliate accounts is going to be great. So now here's the formula for creating the content. So now let's say in those 90 days, I'm prepared. I've done everything that I did, that Denzel said on the board here. I'm there, 90 days in. Now it's 90 days of creation, creating content. The most effective way for me was to do video, because video I can repurpose. into a blog post, into a post. I can strip the audio and use it as a podcast. So there's so many things that I can do with video. I can take a long video and split it up into 5 videos and really break it apart. This is what I do on my YouTube channel is we'll do this live class right here. It'll be an hour plus long, but then every time I answer a question from you, that'll be literally a video. Someone says, what is a line of credit? In this video, I answer it. A line of credit is da 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 da. That'll be 2 minutes long. That's a piece of content. Boom, right? So let me give you the formula. If I create 90 original pieces of content in 90 days, whether you do it one a day or you batch in together, right? If you have a schedule, like, okay, I'm gonna take 5 to 10 hours a week for the next 4 weeks to get 90 videos, right? So 90 is the goal. Whether you do it in 90 days or less, doesn't matter. Just have those windows, be disciplined. You want to reach that. It's not hard to make 90 pieces of content in 90 days based on the things I just told you, right? So for example, I could make one video, but it can turn into many pieces of content. I will explain how. So 90 original pieces of content. You've got your phone, light, camera, audio, visual, you're good to go. 90 original pieces of content. You then upload all of that content to your favorite platform. So let's say it's YouTube. So option 1 is you can upload all of the raw content to YouTube, and then you can pay someone to edit the content for you, or you do it yourself. Before you upload it, you send it to your laptop, or you edit it right on your phone, then send it to the laptop, then upload it to the platform that you want to use. So you're going to want to find an editing software if you're going to be editing from a laptop. From your phone, I use an app called Videorama, V-I-D-E-O, Rama, R-A-M-A, Videorama. It's like $16. I think you can pay it one time and you'll have it for life. And it's a very cool, unique editing software right from your phone. So what I do is I edit all my stuff, and then I can upload right from the app in HD and everything to the platform that I want to upload it to. I can upload it to any one of these platforms, right? Except for podcasts, because it's not video, okay? So all these can take video. So you can edit, and then you can upload using Videorama from your phone. When you upload content to that favorite platform, you can have it preset. So on YouTube, on your channel settings, you can preset to upload everything privately so that nobody sees it. I want you to do this on purpose. I want you to upload everything privately or unlisted so nobody sees it. You're just gathering the content. You're not posting it just yet. You've created the platforms, you got your name, but you're not posting anything just yet. You're simply creating in those 90 days. Now, if you do that, you have 90 original pieces of content. You can then repurpose that 90 and repost the same content on every other platform that you create. So there's 8 platforms there, right? 2, 4, 6, yeah, there's 8 platforms. So half, 4 platforms, you would have technically 360 pieces of content. 360 pieces of content. You're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Sure it does. I created 90 original pieces of content. The number 90, right? Every digital footprint that you put on the internet is content, whether it's a comment, a reply to a comment, a DM, a post, a picture, a video. Everything counts as content. So if you post a picture on Instagram, that's one piece of content. But then if you take that picture and post it on 8 other platforms, that's now 9 pieces of content. Okay? And so if you follow a guy like Gary Vaynerchuk, he says that you should be posting 100 times a day. And I didn't really know how to make sense of that, but once I started like really creating a plan that works for me, so 100 pieces of content just doesn't work for me. It doesn't make me happy. But I can make sense of posting a lot of content over a long period of time consistently. That makes me happy. So for me, my number is 90. And then I repurpose, post on 4 other platforms. That's 360 pieces of content. The most, if you were to do 8 platforms, 720 pieces of content. So what that breaks down to is literally 4 to 8 posts per day for 90 days, right? So now you've created in 90 days, and you're going to follow this formula. And now you're going to find, right, in those 90 days of creation, you're also going to find a platform. You're going to find a platform to schedule all your posts. Okay? They're out there. I don't know what website to use. I haven't found one yet. If somebody knows of a platform that can link all of these social media accounts to one platform, and then I can literally schedule all my posts. So basically I'm uploading everything to one thing, and then it gets posted at the same time on all platforms at the same exact time. I know it exists, I just don't know the website for it. So if somebody does know, please comment. Don't just comment in the chat box, definitely comment under the video as well so people can see that, because that'll be super valuable. So we're gonna leave that box blank. But you're going to wanna do that. Find a that's gonna make your life super easy. Now, there are some platforms, YouTube, Facebook, where there's a scheduling system in there already. So you don't have to use a separate platform. But if you're going to be using all these platforms, you do want to find something that is efficient for your time. Okay? So that's going to be powerful. And then you rinse and repeat. Okay? So during the 90 days of execution, once you have all the content and you've created the schedule, you're basically going to drop content every single day for 90 days on automatic, because everything was already uploaded. That was all the hard work. All you have to do now is create a title for each video, description, put some links in the description, your website where people can give you money and pay for your programs and services, your affiliate links, you attach everything, you do it really, really clean, really simple. Keep everything simple. You can get complex as you grow. The reason why I'm saying this is because you want to not only 10x, but you want to have fun doing it, right? You want to have fun doing it. You want to enjoy the process. And you don't want to burn out. And here's how you not burn out. Here's how you don't burn out for me. So I keep it my 90, 90, 90. So during the 90 days of execution, everything's being posted and you're restarting over here, 90 days to create again. And then you can create a schedule. You're like, okay, do I want to post every single day? Or do I want to post 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever it is? Whatever you do choose, it would still apply where you post multiple times during those days that you chose to post new content, right? So what you could do to be slick is you could take that 90 pieces of original content, and I've done this before. You have one video and you post it on Monday on YouTube. And then on Tuesday, you post it on LinkedIn. On Wednesday, you post it on Facebook. On Thursday, you post it on Instagram. On Friday, you post it on Snapchat, TikTok, podcast. Like, that's 7 days of content. You could do that, right? I just don't, not anymore, because I have so much content now. So I was able to like really not have to do that. But you could do that if you don't create the original 90 pieces of content. So if you don't hit that number and you want to be able to post consistently, you could kind of drag it out. Another thing that you can do to help alleviate the pressure is you can let people know when you're going to post by creating content about the content. So if you have this exclusive video dropping on Wednesday, on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you could post on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, right? Just warning people, letting people know, hey, new video is going to be dropped on Wednesday, 12 o'clock Eastern time, be there. Or Friday, hey, I'm going live, be there. I've done this before, so I'm basically amping you up. This works great once you have the audience. Works amazing, right? Notice how I got 45 people on a Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern time, 47 now, to be with me personally, live, right? Yesterday, there was like 80 people in the room. And that was no promotion. I didn't promote at all. I just showed you that I was being live, did like one post. If I actually like set it up in advance and posted and sent emails out consistently, oh my goodness, I'd have hundreds of people in here, because now I have 10,000 plus subscribers, right? So in the beginning, it may or may not work in terms of letting people know what you got going on, because nobody's following you in the first place when you first start out. So it's best to put out original, new, valuable, evergreen, consistent, effective content, great content that you can think on. That's going to be very valuable. And that's why you give yourself 90 days to prep, 90 days to create, 90 days to execute, rinse and repeat. Okay? Let me stop here and let me look at some questions, see if anyone has anything they want to ask, add, and we'll go from there. So let me scroll back up. Let's see. Okay, Rotimi says, hi everyone. Thanks, Denzel, for all that you are doing. Appreciate that. Thank you. Video Tech. Hello, Denzel. Colleen here. Hello, hello. George Torres. Good Sunday evening, everyone. Ephesians 6:11 through 20. Let's look that up. Ephesians 6:20. That's New Testament, right? Ephesians 6 verses 11 to 20. Oh, that's when I was talking about putting on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate, that's the shield of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, above all taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all thy fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the word of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, and for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly, to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Man in Christ, woman in Christ, are you with me? You got to have this type of mindset. Like I was saying earlier, you want to go into it knowing that there's going to be challenges. People are going to come after you. They're going to hate you. Some people are going to want to kill you, man. They're going to think they want to kill you. They're going to imagine it. You got to get real with it and expect. So if you want a 10x, just know that challenges will come. Okay? Let's see. Sith Todd says, great Sunday, the Finance Geek, and NFL football. Yeah, man. We've got the playoffs, right? No, I think we're past playoffs, right? I don't know, man. I haven't been paying attention. All I know is Patriots got knocked out. I was seeing that. I was like, Tom Brady, you had your time. You had your time. Rob Walsh says, finally made it. Let's see, Pamela. Okay, I live in Arlington, Texas, and came across 8.99% interest on a personal line of credit. Is it good? Question mark. Yeah, sure it is. As long as it's revolving, simple interest, calculated daily. I can pull money in and out, unlimited transactions, no annual fees. Great. Great. Billy says anything under 15% is good. Yes. The interest rate typically doesn't matter, but the lower I can go, the better. Which is why when I'm first starting out, what do I say? You start with a personal line of credit, credit card, you build your credit up, you eventually transition to a HELOC, much lower interest rate, and then you would definitely eventually transition into infinite banking, zero. Your borrowing cost goes to zero. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm blessed to have met Denzel by pure coincidence, and yet it's amazing that Denzel is a giver. And this live event alone, there are other gurus out that don't even come close. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. Pamela says you got to be disciplined as well. Yes, have to be. All right, let's see. Okay, Pamela, get it going. I see, all right. Mel Rowe says, hi, Sharonda. I'm waiting for my policy to be approved. Okay. Good. Okay. Hootsuite is one of the most well-known social media scheduling software options available. Yeah, I heard of them. I knew one of them. I just didn't know the name. So now this box is no longer blank. Hootsuite, take all this, put it here, schedule all your posts, make your life easy. Make your life easy. All right. I have been doing velocity banking. This would be more in depth for me. Okay, cool. My policy is 8K and had 2K saved, funded the policy for 10K. I also got paid that day. That 8,000 from the line of credit dropped to 5320 after putting it in our income that quick in seconds. Plus my payment isn't due until the 25th of February. We will get paid 3 times until then. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. It's costing me $1.89 a day in interest right now. That will lower when we get paid again. All right, cool. Cool. So, hope you guys are finding value in this. Javier, how do you know when you're ready to go from a line of credit to a HELOC? When you have enough equity from the bank that you're banking with. So typically what I like to do is if I'm starting off with a line of credit, and in my personal finances, if I own a home, but I'm starting out with a line of credit, I would like to get a line of credit with a credit union or a bank that also offers HELOCs. So if that personal line of credit has a 10% rate, you get the 10% rate, right? 15K, right? You're doing it, you knocked out all the stuff. All you got left is the mortgage. Then we see how much equity you have in the mortgage. Can it be more than what you have in credit limit on the line of credit? If not, we wait. You do about maybe 1 to 2 chunks on your mortgage to create instant equity on your property or more. And if the bank if their LTV, loan to value, is 80%, 90, 95, or as high as 100, whatever it is, you make sure you have the strongest credit when you're ready to approach them, good cash flow, you got your line of credit, and then enough equity, and then we make that transition. So if I had a 15K line of credit to start out with, when I make the transition, I want to go from not only a lower interest rate, but also a higher credit line so I can increase my chunk capability from the start, from the get-go, okay? So that's how I would make that decision. Truffles 100 says, excellent credit score, $250,000 mortgage, 23K debt on line of credit, 4.45%, $30,000 car loan at 1%. Cash flow down to 315. What can I do? Nothing and wait as interests are so low, question mark? What are you asking? You say you have excellent credit score and you owe $23,000 on your line of credit at 4.45%. So I'm assuming that you have a line of credit more than $23,000 owed on it. So it sounds like I've already made a chunk, right, guys? Sounds like Truffles here already made a chunk. So now all I have to do is velocity banking on the line of credit. Right, bring that down. And then I'm going to want to knock out that car so I can get more cash flow to knock out the mortgage. Or if you want to do this strategy, in your case, I would knock down the line of credit, also pay off the car. Before I get to the mortgage, I'll go ahead and 10X. Mel Rose says, I paid off $19,283 in debt last year. Wonderful. Excited to chat with you to ensure I am still on track for 2020. Wonderful. Okay. Truffles. Actually doing something. Velocity banking using my credit card, cutting down on expenses, waiting for raise. Great. Okay, so you have a HELOC on your property. So it's not a line of credit, it's a HELOC. I was wondering, I was like, damn, you got a good line of credit at 4.5%, but he's got a HELOC, not a line of credit, not a personal line of credit. So he's got a HELOC, he owes 23 on it. So you're just doing velocity banking on the HELOC now, cutting that down, and go from there. So you know what? I still have time. It's been an hour. What I'm going to do now is actually go to my email real quick because I have a bunch of people that submit questions. So I know I have people that submit questions through the contact form. You write a question out. So I'm going to start shouting some people out. If you're in the house, great. If you're not, you'll catch the replay. So I'm just going to answer some questions here. Question from Gabriel. Shout out to Gabriel. Need help to evaluate my financial situation. Need help how to use velocity banking with my current mortgage, investment, 401k, and my daughter's student loan starting this year. Please call me for detailed conversation, period. Thanks. Okay, so I'm not going to call you because I expect you to watch my content. I expect you to do the work. I expect you to be committed to investing in yourself and hiring me for your services. So, to answer your first question, you need help to evaluate where you're at financially. Great. Start watching my videos. Get your 4 major numbers together, right? When it comes to your investments in 401k, what I would do is find out what is my cost of investing this money, the 401k. Does it make sense to reduce those contributions to my investment accounts in my 401ks so I can have more cash flow to work with so I can get out of your bad financial situation that you're in, Gabriel, okay? And then in terms of your daughter's student loans, depending on the payment, we might not even look at that in the beginning. We might want to take a look at your consumer debt, credit cards first, maybe cars, and then eventually getting over to the student loans. Because there are lots of programs out there, student loan forgiveness programs, work incentive programs, things like that. So we might have an opportunity to avoid having to pay that. So I might want to prolong the student loans in terms of paying that off, attack everything else, and then if I could wipe that out in one fell swoop through a program, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to try and 10x my income. So just in case that doesn't happen, I can just wipe it out myself because I 10x my income during that same time period of just trying to pay off the debt with whatever income, expense, debt, and cash flow I have. So that is answering your question there. Let me come back to the chat. Let me see if anyone put any questions. George Torres says, what is the best rate for HELOC with excellent credit score? I think the lowest HELOC I've seen so far was like 2 point something %. I've seen intro periods where it has an intro rate of like 1.99, 2 point something, or 0.99 for a period of time, and then it goes up to the prime rate. But I've seen HELOCs as low as below prime, like 4 and 3. Benzo. On the ball, bro. Car was done 2 years early with large chunking. Just wiped out an old credit card with balance transfer. On to the next. Velocity banking on the move. Love it. All right, let me look at another question here. Oh, that was so Gabriel filled out a contact form twice just to make sure I got it. Cool. Shout out from Justin Sabates. Question about refinancing my mortgage by consolidating my HELOC, which is maxed out. They're offering 1.5% interest rate reduction, 4.99 to 3.5, and letting me keep my line of credit, which would now be at a zero balance. Just not sure if it's a smart move to transfer my HELOC funds and add it to my conventional loan. I would have a great interest rate and increased cash flow, but on the other hand, would increase my amortized interest. Wondering what to do. Interesting. That's a cool question. I'm not too sure. Where is my eraser? All right, so I'm gonna erase this stuff here. I hope this was super valuable. I've had a lot of people asking me about how I create content. How do I consistently put out new content like on a weekly, daily basis and help people and run a business and live a life and be in a relationship, you know, and do all that stuff. Now, I would say my age does definitely play a factor. I have a lot more energy. I have a lot more focus. So, plus, I don't have children. I don't have a mortgage. I'm not obligated or tied to a specific thing, place, location. So that does help. Plus, I also live at home, so I don't have to worry about paying rent, right? I do contribute to the household, obviously. That's what a good son should do, contribute to the household. So those are advantages. But this still can work. That strategy can work. You just got to put your mind to it, right? You really just got to put your mind to it and make it happen for yourself. So so this person is looking at a refinance, right? They're offering 1.5 reduction. So current mortgage is at 4.99. I guess this would depend on how much he owes on the property, right? And they're gonna go down to 3.5%. What I don't understand is they're gonna let him keep his HELOC. But it's maxed out. So the HELOC is maxed out, he says. So I'm assuming he has a second position HELOC. If he has a mortgage, he must have a second position HELOC. We don't know if it's a line or a loan, right? We don't know if it's a line or a loan from a HELOC. The HELOC itself is maxed out, right? So if it's maxed out, what equity does he have to work with? That's my first question. He refinances the HELOC and the existing mortgage into one. So that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like the HELOC and the mortgage is going into one payment at 3.5%. Obviously, probably at a, restart at 30 years, I'm assuming, right? Restarts at 30 years. I don't know I don't know what he means by he says it's gonna keep the HELOC. Not a smart move to transfer my HELOC funds and add it to my conventional loan. I would have a great interest rate and increased cash flow. I don't know. I guess it just depends on how much is in there, right? How much does he owe on the mortgage? This thing, right? How many years is he in? Is he in year 22, year 23? How far am I restarting the clock, right? Or does it make sense to just do velocity banking on his existing HELOC, right? Because whatever the offer is, what I like to do is think of it from the bank's perspective. How does it help the bank? How much am I getting helped? Is it a win-win situation, right? Or is it a supposedly win-win, but in the end, I lose? And that's typically how those refinancing strategies work. It's a win-win up front in the beginning, but eventually you lose because you just restarted the clock on 30 years. Even though you have a smaller interest rate and more cash flow, does not mean that you would be saving money in the long run, especially if you're not doing velocity banking. So I don't know if I would do that. I would be a little wary on that. It doesn't sound like the best offer in the world. I don't know, it depends. I guess, the other option is to just do, if this is a second position HELOC, and if it's not a loan, I guess if it was a HELOC loan, then probably I would do that. But if it's a HELOC line, if it's a line, maybe we just do velocity banking on the line itself, then chunk at the mortgage. If I'm 22 years in, that would be better than restarting the clock, even if I do get an interest savings and a cash flow savings. Let me know what you guys think on that. Adventure Prime says, found your channel a few months ago. Love it. I am 23 like you and have been diving deep into the concept. Living at home with $1,200 cash flow, no debts, $42,000 in assets. How would you start IBC? Cool. Cool. All right, so we have a 23-year-old individual, right? And he has 42,000 in assets. He's got 42K in assets. We just don't know what that actually means. That could, I don't know if that's, cash accessible. Is it accessible? I don't even think I spelled accessible right. I just started writing crazy. Is it cash accessible? Number one. What's your four major numbers? Right? What's the four majors? He's got no debt. That's wonderful. And he's got good cash flow. $1,200 is awesome to work with. Living at home. Okay. If you have a line of credit, so 1,200 times 12 is $14,400. So anywhere between 14,400 and depending on how much he wants to use from his current assets. So if I had 42,000, you take 66% of that. That's 27,720. So now, if I do not have a desire to 10x, right? If that's not the plan. If you're like, no, I want to get the policy first. Okay. Maybe this would be my numbers. This is what I would flirt with. Somewhere around here, right? 1,400 to 27,000 is very reasonable. If it's 27,000, the premium per year is going to be 2,700. If it's 14,000, we're looking at anywhere between 1,400 and 2,700 should be my premium on an IBC policy. I would probably go with Guardian because if he doesn't have the initial capital to start with, so maybe he's like, okay, I want to have the ability to put 14,400 in, but I want to start with 10K. And Guardian might be a little bit better to do it that way. If he has all the money up front, right, all of it, I think I might want to go with Mass. He's super young, and Mass Mutual is crediting the highest dividend rate out of the four majors right now. So that might, be very attractive. We would see. Just as long, whichever company we go with, just as long as we do this, a 90-10 split, 10% towards premium, the other 90 towards cash, that would make me happy. That would make me comfortable as an insurance agent that we maximized on cash, minimized on premium. Depending on how much income he makes will determine what his MEC will actually be and how much death benefit we can actually get. So that's what I would go from there. To you, Mr. Adventure, if you want to go ahead and start this right away, you can click the link in the description below where it goes over ready to start your life insurance asset. It's going to take you to IBC Global, and they'll put you in touch with an agent. Okay. All right, Rotimi, just did my first chunk payment on debt of $16,000. Stopped contributing to my 401k employer, and now have freed up $1,000 cash flow per month. It appears that it may take me 1 year to get to zero. First chunk payment on debt of $16,000. Oh, you have a comment before that. So, all right. He says, come on now. Praise God. I admit, bro, that what I enjoy most about this channel is that you are unashamed and bold about the kingdom. Come on, man. You know, I just started Velocity Banking thanks to you. Just got a $25,000 line of credit. $25,000 line of credit. 25,000 times 66%. All right, you're in the clear. You did a 16K chunk with $1,000 in cash flow. I don't see why that can't be paid. Oh yeah, maybe a year to get to zero technically, but remember, we don't necessarily have to go to zero before making that next chunk towards the next debt. It's okay to leave debt on the line of credit as long as you create that rhythm. Like, have a rhythm. Every 6 to 9 months, I'm gonna chunk, I'm gonna chunk, I'm gonna chunk. This way you go faster and you're not waiting to like hit actual zero, right? You can wait to hit zero, but all I'm saying is you could go like that 1 month faster, that 2 months faster. It definitely plays when you look at it in the long run. And then you do say you have additional debts. Velocity Banking changed my life. Yes, great. Can't wait to get into IBC policy as well. And 10XO, my income-o. Love it. All right. I thought, so Pamela says, I thought a person is penalized doing taxes if not contributing to 401k plan. How am I being penalized if I don't contribute to my 401k plan? Let's go over that. I think that's a huge misconception, right? Because obviously you don't get the deduction, right, off your taxes. But most people, over 85% of people in the United States, aren't even filling out their W-4s properly in the first place. So that's one issue. So let's handle that first. Okay? So let's make sense of Pamela's issue here, because there's so many people, I would say the 40 and up crowd, that are, stuck to that 401k mentality, and it's really beating you up, especially with taxes. You guys are so afraid of taxes. I don't know, it's nothing to be afraid of. You just got to learn the system. They created it to subdue you so you would surrender. And you have to understand that if you're born of the kingdom, then you have to understand how to live in a kingdom so that you can operate outside of that kingdom and establish your own. So it's very important for you to understand how these systems work. So whatever what was that? Let me go back to it so I don't lose the thought. So 401k plans, right? Your W-4, you gotta fill that out properly, people. Make sure you're filling that out properly. That's step one. 401k plan, when you reduce it or just completely cut it off, right? Reduce or cut off. You lose the deduction, right? You lose the deduction. And then, so you lose the deduction because you're showing more income, right? So if you show more income, then you have to pay more taxes, right? Okay, so we understand that. Now, if I have more cash flow to work with, and my intention for my life is to become debt-free, and if I do the math, if I can mathematically show that even with the increase of what you'll pay in tax, as long as this is filled out properly, then you're not overpaying on taxes, nor are you underpaying. It's a even Steven, right? So You won't owe the IRS anything. The IRS doesn't owe you anything when this is filled out properly, okay? So coming back to this, you reduce your 401k or cut it off. So yes, tax does go up because you're showing more income. But if we were able to take that extra income to pay off debt, right? And according to the math, I would save more in interest. So what's happening is I'm getting more use out of those dollars. All right, so if I can save more in interest than you would earn in that 401k, wouldn't that make sense? Think about it. I have the money now. You putting that money in the 401k, you don't get access to it till you're 59 and a half, right? And that number could go up, right? The retirement age or whatever, that number could go up. I'm sure it will because people are living longer. So I would save more interest now, which would increase my cash flow now, which would then position me to 10x, right? Or invest now rather than later, right? So that is something to definitely consider, right? And then here's the other thing. I mean, we can just kind of write it out. Let's say you're contributing, I don't know, 10K a year to your 401k. So let's say they're taking 10K divided by 12, $900 from your paycheck, whatever it is, it's going into the 401k. And let's say you're gonna earn 8% on that money in your 401k. Tax deferred, and you'll have money till you are, have access to it till you're 59 and a half is when you can pull from it. So I'm gonna Google something real quick. And you guys should do this if you have retirement plans, if you have qualified retirement plans, and you're considering whether or not I should reduce or cut these off to do velocity banking to pay off debt really fast, build a policy 10x, all that good stuff. You want to see what is your current cost of investing right now. And that might make you knock it off because you'd be like, what? Am I really paying that? So average cost of 401k plans per year. Let's see what I get. Let's see what comes up. Okay? Trying to see if I can find something. And then you guys help me out as well. Find me some research. If you read the book by Tony Robbins called Money, Master the Game, he does talk about this. And he says how I think the average 401k plan from his book is 1 to 3% in fees, admin fees, annual fees. This is all stuff that you do not read that's on your 401k statement or maybe on the sheet or whatever that they send your way, the 401k contract, whatever it is, right? So if I earn 8% on 10K in the 401k plan, right? So the first year I put 10K in and I earned 8%, that's $800, right? So I earned 8 for that whole year. Okay. Let's say we'll go right in the middle, call it 1.5%. You have to understand that you have flat fees. So just in general, you have flat fees and then there's annual fees. Flat fees are cheaper than annual fees. Annual fees are based off the total amount of money that's in that account, whereas a flat fee is based off whatever goes in initially. You have both in 401k plans. So I got an eyelash in my eye, eyelash in my eye. All right, so 1.5% on 10,800 equals $162. So let's say your cost first year, right, it's $162. Okay. And you earned 8, but you paid 162 in fees. Now here's where things get very interesting. And this is the danger when you have a 401k plan. Okay? Let's say the second year we put another 10K in. So 10K plus 10K is 20,000 plus the 800, all right? Times that by another 8% return. That's $1,664. So the second year you earn $1,664. So $1,664 plus the $20,000 in principal money that went in there, plus the $800. That's $22,464. $22,464 times that by 1.5%. Okay, so your cost on your 401k plan the second year is $336.96. So your cost increased. Now that may not seem like a lot, but I dare you to keep going. Fund it for 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years, and see how your fees will eat away at your profits. And then the worst thing that could happen, right, to your 401k is that it goes down in terms of the returns, right? So let's say the third year is a bad year of your 401k. Let's say you earn nothing, okay? But you put in 10K, so you just broke even, you earn nothing. So 10K went in, plus the 22,464. So that's $32,464 times 1.5%. Even if you lose money in your 401k plan, the 401k managers, the company still has to get paid for managing your account that did not perform well. So guess what? That year is higher, $486.96, and that would affect the actual balance of the account itself. It would go down, right? And the other worst thing is worse than breaking even is when you actually lose money. So, they say, okay, I'm down 8% or I'm down 10%. That's 10% of your entire account or 5% of your entire account. So let's just say the fourth year, right? I lose 10% of my net worth in the 401k. And that's not bad of a loss. I mean, there's people that have lost 50%, 25% in one shot, in one quarter, in a year during their, people have showed it to me. They tell me their war stories with 401ks, and it does not sound fun. So the fourth year, I put in another 10,000, right? So we've got the 22,464. 464 plus 10,000 plus another 10,000. All right, so let's say I got 42. Just round. So I got 42K in there in the 4th year, but I lose 10% of the account. So I would lose 4,000 to 4640, right? So I would lose that if I lost 10%, 10% loss. Well, guess what? The 4th year, you still have to pay fees on the account. The administration fee, the annual fee, the management fee, the broker fee, the this fee, the that fee, and the other fee, right? So not only did I lose 10%, but then I also got to pay 1.5 on the entirety of the account. So 42,000, let me just minus 4K, right? I got 38 left. 38,000 times 1.5%. Look, it's still higher than the other year. It's still higher than the previous year, so 570, right? And now when you lose in an account, a qualified retirement account, the amount of time that it took to lose, it's going to take double, triple the amount of time to actually get out. To not only break even, but to actually get back in line, get ahead, right? So you would have to earn not only the 10% the next year to break even, but you have to earn more because of the fees. Plus you have to actually earn more to actually profit, to say, okay, I profited, right? So when they say that you're going to get an average rate of return of 8% or an average rate of return of 12, 15, 20, whatever it is, you got to understand that you can do math where if you, so if I have 100K and I go up 100% in year 1, so I would have 200K. And then the second year, I lose 50%, okay? So I lost 50% of 200K. What's 50% of 200,000? 100,000. So you needed to earn 100% to earn 100,000, but you only need to lose 50% to go right back to where you started. So now you're down to 100K in the second year, right? And then the third year you do it again, right? You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. If you earn 100, lose 50, earn 100, lose 50, earn 100, lose 50. I think the average rate of return is 25% positive, right? But you would be at the same number though. Get it? So that's kind of like how your 401k would perform. Now there's no doubting that you can certainly earn a lot of money in a 401k plan, no doubt at all. I believe it. I've seen 401k plans, $1 million, 1.5, 2 million, 500,000. Great. The problem is I don't get access to that till I'm 59 and a half, right? And then when I do get access to it, now I must pay taxes. Taxes will always be higher now than taxes will always be higher in the future than they are now. So they're always going to keep going up, right? So with that being said, not only did I pay fees all those years of funding, but then I got to pay taxes on the gains of that money as personal income tax. Ordinary income is the highest tax rate. So you're getting taxed at the highest tax rate when you're 59 and a half, right? And then on top of all that, when you factor in addition to your 1 to 3% in cost, whatever your rate of return is, losses and gains, profits and losses, things like that, but you also have to factor in this guy, inflation. 2%, or 3%, whatever inflation is, 1%, 2%, whatever the inflation number is. That's another number that is eating away at your returns on that 401k. So the value of $1.5 million when you're 59 and a half would be worth maybe $500,000 of purchasing power today, or however that works. Basically, however much money you have today, it's going to purchase you less things tomorrow. So you can only imagine 10, 20, 30 years down the road, the purchasing power of 1.5 million is going to be a lot less, right? And that really sucks. Now, on top of that, you got to pay taxes, right? So you're looking at the surface, going back to Pamela's question. Oh, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to pay taxes now. I'm going to get hit on that. But what I look at is under the roots. I look at the roots. I look at the end result. What do I get for putting $10,000 a year away? 8% return, 12%. What do I really get? When do I get to use that money? How can I access that money and, make sense of it? So, it's something to think about. Remember, like I said yesterday, I said that every financial concept is correct, right? If you put $10,000 a year in, you'll average 8% return. It's correct. You'll end up with, $1-2 million in when you're 59 and a half. I don't know what you're going to do with $1 million, $2 million. You're going to have to take a monthly residual stream of income from that, which is only going to last till you're 80, maybe, right? So you'll outlive that 401k plan that you funded your whole life. That sucks. So you got to look at everything wherever you put your money. You want to look at everything. Very important. All right, let's see. Who's got some more questions, and then we'll wrap things up. Adventure says 12,000 cash and metals, 33 in stock, 13K Roth, 5K credit card, 1K line. So the 12K in cash and metals, whatever of 12K is cash, could go towards the policy. If you want to sell some stock to add to your funding on the infinite banking, cool. And then you've got a $1,000 line of credit, which we could obviously increase over time with what you're doing, plus your $1,200 a month in cash flow. We're able to come up with that number. So the numbers that I displayed earlier, I think it was like 14 to 27,000. That number is still valid. Okay. Yeah. And then even with an employer match, right? Even when the employer matches the stuff, right? Remember, whatever they're matching, now there's more money in there. Guess what? The fees will continue to increase, right? And still, with losses, gains, you still have that to worry about. You still have the taxes. The company gets their deduction now, and they get to keep all that, and they give you that little cute little match that you're getting, All right. Dividend. No question. Just wanted to say I'm glad I found this channel. Thanks for inspiration. Hope to start Velocity Banking in my own YouTube channel this year. Wonderful, wonderful. Robert, I just got a $35,000 HELOC. 2 car notes with a balance of $7,500 each. One has a 0% APR and the other one has a 1.9 APR, also a loan with 14.5K balance and a 5.2% APR. One car note is $315, the other one is $255, and my load, what is that? Load is $387. What am I missing with a cash flow of $1,300 to $1,500? I already redirected everything I could, including tax forms. Okay, so you fill out your W-4 properly. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Rotimi says 401k fees for managing investments are subtracted from your gains or added to losses before calculating the annual return. Administrative and recording keeping fees are divvied up among participants. Okay, so fine, whatever. Well, whatever the actual annual fee is, okay, you minus it off, what did he say? Whatever the gains and the losses. So I lose money, pay the annual fee, and the administrative fee, and the, like, it adds up. So even what you're saying, dude, it adds up. It'll eat you up, okay? And it's not pretty. And losses suck. Warren Buffett says, do not lose money. Do not lose money. That's his number one rule. Do not lose money. Ray Dalio, don't lose money. Grant Cardone, don't lose money. Tony Robbins, don't lose the money. You're losing the money. So if you are knowingly investing in something that could potentially lose money, me personally, as a millennial in the 21st century, I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I should lose money. I really don't. So I don't care what guru you listen to. What I like to do is go to the top of the food chain and listen to guys like Ray Dalio, Warren Buffett. The guys are at the top of the top. If I'm listening to a millionaire, understand that anyone can become a millionaire over a period of time. It's not hard to do, right? Just like I said, every financial concept is correct. It's just a matter of which one is more effective than the other. And then you're able to make that decision, the decision. Yeah, so Kimmy K says, I'm 60 and want out of my job funded for one. What can I do? What? Gotta fix your words, man. Grammar. I don't know what you're saying. But going back to my friend Robert here, what you could do is what everyone else does. Get a debt tool. I didn't hear a debt tool in there of all your comments. I just heard all the debts that you have, and then the cash flow, which you have really good cash flow, 13 to 1500. All we need is a debt tool. Know your four major numbers. Let's get the debt tool. We'll get things going. Make our first chunk. Start knocking out, probably one of the smaller debts, and then work our way up. Let's see, last questions. When you compare a 401k plan to an IBC, you can quickly see that the IBC is way better. That is an interesting claim to make, right? Because technically, the IBC is making less money. Technically. It can, the IBC can only guarantee you a 4% return, compounded tax-free every year if designed properly, with dividends of maybe 1 to 2% above that 4. So technically, if you put your money in high cash value life insurance, you're going to earn less money on a rate of return, technically. I guess what ends up happening is throughout the period of time, the person that's putting 10K a year into a 401k versus a person that's putting 10K into a policy, you have to look at the whole thing, right? We want to look at the whole thing to see if that statement is true, right? So with the 401k plan, I have the ability to take a loan out maybe once, twice a year. I have the ability to earn high returns, right? 1 year, the stock market booms, or whatever it is. I do also have the ability to lose money. I can't touch that money till I'm 59 and a half. The money does grow tax deferred, okay? And I will pay taxes on that later on. IBC, I put 10K into a policy, I'm paying an insurance cost, which would technically be more than 401k plan in the first couple of years. So that's something to look at. If designed properly, my money's growing at a smaller interest rate, but tax-free if designed properly. It comes with a death benefit. So whatever I do put in, if anything happens to me, I am secured that way. So that's pretty cool to know, is you do get this other feature, your death benefit, and you get a third feature being the cash value, right? Meaning the ability to actually use the money now while you're living and grow the money at the same time. So you can grow this money tax-free, compounded every single year, guaranteed. So you're guaranteed not to lose money when you put money in. So that's pretty cool to look at. What might end up happening is if that 10,000 that grew with the 401k plan will for sure, if it, averages 8% over a long period of time, for sure there's no doubt in my mind that the 401k will have more money in the account than the IBC. The argument is the accessibility of that money as it grew. So this person that put 10K in the policy each and every year, by the 4th or 5th year, 6th year being the latest, or maybe 7, that money would have broke even. And maybe, just maybe, they use that money in the 5th or 6th year to buy a piece of real estate, which would cash flow maybe $1,000 a month, $700 a month, whatever it is. While that's cash flowing, they have now a second asset, and they keep throwing 10K in each and every year. It doesn't matter whether they pay that money back or not. It's collateralized by the death benefit. So they have more use. So you could argue that over a period of time, yes, the 401k would have more money, but the person with the IBC might be able to do more things in that funding period. So by the time they actually get to the end, that person at 59.5 now has to take distributions, whether it's one lump sum or distributions, a monthly income stream, whatever it is. They have to pay taxes, so that's going to hurt them. This person does not pay taxes. They keep using the money, and during that time, they might have accumulated 5 to 10 properties over a 10, 15-year span, or more than that. So they would have a much higher performing portfolio that's diversified, where that person just had a 401k plan that they funded for 40 years, right? So that is a very, very interesting argument to make, comparing an IBC with a 401k plan. That would be very, very interesting to compare that. But you gotta use both advantages and disadvantages. Lay it all out so people can get it. Okay. The reason why I say the IBC is better, because guaranteed a 4% return plus the freedom to put the cash flow to work through loans. Yes, you're totally correct. Robert said, got a HELOC for 35. Oh, did I not read that? HELOC for 35K and also have 2 credit cards, one with a 20K limit and 4K on it. And the other one has a 5K limit, 0% for 1.5 years, 1.5 month. So let me scroll back up. So if I have a 35K line of HELOC, 2 car notes, one has a 0% APR, so I'm gonna leave that alone. The other one has 1%. I think I would want to smack that personal loan off for the 14.5. That's at 5.25%. Yeah. So he has, all right, let me write this out so I don't get confused. All right. So, Mr. Robert. So we got 35K HELOC. 14.5K loan, 5.25%. Did he display the payment? Oh, load is loan. Put that together. So 387. Gotcha. $7,500 on each car note. One is at 0, 1%. I'm assuming both of them are financed vehicles. One car note is $315 and the other is $255. I'm assuming that the 0% one is $255 and the 1% one is $315. So, and then he said cash flow, $1,300, $1,500. So when we when we do 35K times 66%, 23,100. I'll use his lower cash flow number, 1,300 times 12. It's 15,600. So anywhere between 15.6 and 23.1 is my chunk. I would get rid of that. And then he said he's got 2 credit cards, 20K limit. He owes 4K on the credit card. And the other one has 5K limit with 0%. So I guess the one that's with 5K, so the 5K credit card, that's 0%, I'm gonna leave that alone. The one that's 4K owed on a credit card, let's see. I don't know what the payment is, but I'm assuming credit cards typically have high interest rates. So I might get rid of that credit card. All right, so I might get rid of the credit card and the 14.5K, 387 plus whatever I gain from the credit card, and on the low end, 1,300 plus 387. So 1,300 plus 387. New cash flow on the low end, 1,687 times 12 is $20,244. So the HELOC is at a what rate? Let me see. All right, he didn't put the HELOC. Put the HELOC interest rate so I know what the heck I'm doing. Got the HELOC, whatever the interest rate is on that would get offset by that 5.25 right there, and the cash flow gain right here, and then whatever I'm earning, saving over here. It's got this 5K at 0%. Depending on when this expires, I'm gonna pay attention to that. But my first chunk to get things going, if I'm a newbie, in this particular situation, I think I might go ahead and just knock out that loan along with that credit card for 4K. Do velocity banking. If this expires anytime soon, we'll get rid of that. This would be typically last because it's 0%. My next debt that I'll tackle is most likely this, as long as he's not withholding any other information. That would make sense to tackle next. And then I would end things off right here. Soon as my HELOC hits 0 after knocking out all those things, I'm assuming the mortgage would be left if he has a mortgage on his property that he owes. He can go and start chunking on the mortgage, option 1, 10x, option 2, or you could go and skip the mortgage real quick temporarily to start IBC, then come back to the mortgage, then 10x, or IBC to 10x, and do everything that I said earlier on this, on the main class that I was talking about. And he wrote 5.25%, which is interesting, because who pays more interest? 5.25 simple or 5.25 amortized? 5.25 amortized will pay more interest than 5.25 simple interest, because whatever I borrow will get immediately subtracted by the new cash flow gain and the existing cash flow plus all of his income. Therefore, doing velocity banking in about a 6 to 9 month window to bring that to 0 to then just chunk again. And we're just going really, really fast at that point. So very, very effective. That was a lot. I got to head out. My girlfriend is expecting me to bring her some din. So I got to get the din on time. Let me get out of here. Hope you guys loved that. That was a 2-hour live stream. My eyes are getting a little tired now. God bless you all. If you want to work with me one-on-one, check out the description below. Let's get this thing going. Who are we kidding? Who are we playing with, right? Let's create some wealth. Let's build the kingdom and honor your Father in heaven, okay? Have a wonderful day. God bless. Or a wonderful evening. God bless.